ready to go. It just took a little bit longer than anticipated there, but that should not be the end of the world. In a few seconds we will be live between IncaUna and VonIvan. And I hope everyone is hyped, because I'm definitely are. And here we go, we are live in game number 1. We have IncaUna as USF, fielding Airborne Company, Rifle Company, and Recon Support. On the other side, we have VonIvan as Austria, going straight away for his signature doctrine for strategic reserves and calling in or building tier 1 and then calling in Assault Grenadier, since they are on cooldown when you pick the doctrine. So, will be interesting. So, also, this is one of the Master League maps. Trademark, Chiapa. Yeah. So those maps are all slightly reworked. They got over time some reworks, which you might have seen with the King of the Hill events that AE hosted. There were a lot of practice games running, so some Master League maps got some rework or improvement. Some minor, some major. It depends. For example, Millroad's got some reworks, as you can already spoil with certain areas. And what's else unique about this tournament? It's one of the few tournaments where we don't have commander terminator running. So everyone can pick every commander as much as he wants during this qualification tournament. So let's see how this will play out for strategy diversity. Because some are afraid to say yeah, or some are afraid and say there might cause some issues there that we see all games, all the same commanders. Some say that's not true anymore. The game has reached a certain state of balance where you can play basically anything as long as you put some thought into those. Will be interesting nonetheless. So far nothing unusual is happening. VonIvan as usual running around with this MG42 on his own without any support. Not the biggest fan of that. As I usually point out, MG42 without any infantry support, it's not something that I like. Assault Grenadier gets caught off guard by 2 riflemen sprinting into the cover of the MG42, and that looks like a really nice beta. Played out really well for VonIvan. We have no Grenadier on the field for VonIvan, so he's might expecting a WC51 build, which doesn't make sense, right? Since there was no WC51 doctrine. Nice play there around the house from Inca. Negating the suppression there, forcing off the Assault Grenadier. MG42 is out of position since the house is blocking the light outside. The Grenadier is not able to do damage and it gets forced off. And the first engagement went really well there for Inca. Gets now suppressed, but it doesn't matter that much. He can soft retreat there into a position where he won't get suppressed. This rifleman will go home anyway since it's low. MG42 now gets outflanked by the Reacolons. Second Grenadier on the field. Interesting. Oh, sorry, I'm sneezing a lot. And not full Assault Grenadiers, that's really interesting. Meanwhile, IncaUna pay Recon support. I would say one of his trademark doctrines. He really like it. Will be interesting to see. IncaUna is slightly behind the map control because he didn't keep this point in his ammo point, only doing it now. Therefore, VonIvan has slight resource advantage there. And by the way, wonderful good day Jeff, wonderful good day Miku, wonderful day good day Fika Wolf and Doggy. I hope everyone is doing fine and welcome. I'm glad to see you here to enjoy those beautiful games with us, or with me. And now we have a second Assault Grenadier on the field. A heavy tier 1 build, interesting. It feels really uncommon to do that with this doctrine, right? Because, like, if you go for Assault Grenadiers, like, your idea is I want to skip tier 1 so I can rush tier 2, get my light vehicles on the field, so I can have an insane amount of pressure in the early game, right? And now mixing it with Grenadiers, which are already slowing you down, combat efficiency wise in the early game, since they don't have the same pressure power as Assault Grenadiers, but then also going for a second Assault Grenadiers and basically exceeding the standard amount of combat squad with free, which you normally have as also have before you take up. I'm not sure. It would be interesting to see how this will play out. Meanwhile, VonIvan got the 50 cal on the field, and which indicates or shows already that he has a lieutenant on the field. MG42 gets forced off. And we have grenades being tagged by Inca. That will be interesting. The first grenade always has to get the biggest impact because the enemy is not expecting it. Afterwards, you will be prepared for those and will dodge them. Grenade on the way, but gets nicely dodged. And oh, might lose the lieutenant there? No. Field got decapped by VonIvan. Generally speaking, still really good map control there from him. I was not expecting him to keep such great pressure on the map after his poor first engagement, because the first engagement often decides like how the first like for 4 minutes, I would say, shapes the map. But it looks like the second assault grenadier will or paid itself off with the map control. Still no tier. Are we seeing a tier 3 rush? Tellermine coming down in the base end exit.
We have casualties.
And this VonIvan lost just a grenadier.
We are losing a sector.
Is VonIvan playing a tier 3 rush? Ooh, I don't know, man. Tier 3 rush is really risky. I'm not sure if it's the right thing to do. Grenade, nice grenade there! That might be a second wipe. But unfortunately for IncaUna, the assault grenadier gets away. So you had no on the way, and don't. Now we have tier 2 coming up, so when I've decided to go for it. MG42 setting up, but there's the lieutenant coming in with grenade. That might be a wipe. Nope, but there's still a hard retreat there. Rifleman could move into position there. 52 on the way from VonIvan. But it's a really late 2-2, and that's a dead MG42 for sure. And here we go, so it goes down. Oh, are we going to see a retreat, Nate? No.
Greyhound, ready for action.
Ambulance on the way from Inca. Inca really low on HP there, but it doesn't matter that much. He inflicted a lot of damage there to Von, and VonIvan is not really behind. Stewart is on the field, so the 2-2 has to be careful. No ATs on the field. No, only what's their potential there.
Our supply line is cut. Germans are making a push.
2-2 a little bit down the harassing order. Will push off the react long probably as well, but the Stewart is already coming in and is prepared for fighting at 2-2. No snare close by. He's trying to hide. One more shot is needed. Will he get over the Tellermine? No. And I think one is dead.
We lost a gun crew. We're losing a capture.
Oh, that's really bad luck there from VonIvan. He got a nice delayed assault on the 50 cal. And because of the bug, that when rapidly a lot of models die, like that the game doesn't know which model should recruit, the weapon gets destroyed. That's really bad for VonIvan. He really would have loved to steal those this 50 kill. Well, I would say a great Tellermine there from VonIvan, but on the other hand, poorly played there by Inca. On the other hand, as you see someone playing Assault Grenadiers, you should always expect Tellermines. So it kind of equalizes the field, but still VonIvan is still really behind. Sweeper should always be glued together with your light vehicle as USF against Oster. He'll only know coming up really late. Assault Grenadier is really low. But Inca's still in command of this game. Going for the double fuel income now.
Is now a field hospital.
Inca already thinking about going into the major attack. Lacking a little bit of fuel there, but since everything looks nice, no need for an AT gun, therefore no captain tag. Maybe going into Bart next, keep up the momentum. Something like that is definitely the thing that Inca wants to do next. Or at least is thinking about it, and meanwhile VonIvan is just busy with problem solving.
300 points remaining.
At least he picked up the Stuart, so it makes life easier for him.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
But yeah, he's not even able to hold the cutoff in front of his base. Assault Grenadier sprinting the MG42, setting up, but not getting a single suppression going since they moved away. VonIvan now going into Mortar, and Mortar at that stage of the game is always a bad sign. Grenade assault, but gets nicely dodged. Assault Grenadier has to fall back. MG42 is setting up.
Fresh mortar crew has arrived.
Mortar now on the field, and yeah, Mortar at that stage of the game. Always a bad sign for Oster. VonIvan really far off from any tank tag. Meanwhile, IncaUna is just prepping for tagging up. And with double fuel, Sherman won't take that long, maybe even considering going into a Scott first instead of a Sherman just to keep the anti-infantry pressure running. Might be a little bit more risky though, since you don't have any real anti-tank option. And nice pickup there from VonIvan, wiping a rifleman. It's something. It makes life easier, but still, VonIvan has a lot of things to do before he comes back into the game. And interestingly, VonIvan replaces the loss with a Pathfinder. That's interesting. Normally I would have expected an airdropped combat group. Even if you don't need the Peg Howie, you still get a rifleman. I mean an airborne trooper from it, and airbornes are really good. Pioneer has to go home. Pioneer has to go home. Still might get wiped if Inca is doing it correctly. Nope. VonIvan was finally able to capture back his side of the map, getting the viewpoint at the VP, meanwhile also capping the middle. It's interesting to see what VonIvan's next unit choice will be. He's still lacking, or he's probably thinking of rebuilding one mainline infantry squad, maybe a P-Gran. Ah, he's going for an AT gun, so he feels there might be soon a tank on the field a little bit early. I think he could have invested those 320 or 340 manpower into a P-Gran. And then the next manpower into the tank, since I think I'm still lacking a little bit of fuel for a Sherman. But on the other hand, better safe than sorry. But I'm not sure if this is the correct timing for things like that. Rifle Gren has to go home. Major now on the field, Major Tom. Maybe a second MG? And why is Inca retreating here? I think if he rushed up against those unvetted Pathfinders, he should have easily won that.
We are losing a sector.
But he's now sprinting on against two squads, and he will get butchered probably. Nate on the way, and he has to retreat. Here we go. Fuel gets no decal, Pathfinders and Camo also makes it harder for an MG42 to suppress them. He needs something to spot. 50k on the way from IncaUna. I would love to see a Scott. Scott, I think, would be really beneficial there, but it's way more. But it's also more risky. But on the other hand, VonIvan, he's not that far off actually from a P4. He's taking up and still has 80 fuel on the bank. Once he caps his fuel, 2 minutes of fuel income. And he will get it, so he just needs to survive a little bit longer there. Maybe keep one VP under his belly to avoid bleeding out of VPs. And then he should be fine, theoretically speaking. At least for the time being. But what I really honors his own name, never giving up, never surrendering, no matter how grim it looks. And often it's not really beneficial, it's just a waste of time. But in this game it might feel like he has a chance to come back, but he's still behind 200 VPs, being double capping back, but so it's something. But the Sherman will be around the corner as soonish, but AT guns on the field. 50 kills setting up over those poor assault grenadiers. We have, by the way, double Zook on Reacolot, which will come in handy later on. Oh, will he get the wipe there? That kind of tells like how good Pioneers actually are. If they are able to do the damage, they don't have much HP, therefore they rarely get the damage done. But the MP40s do some decent damage, as you can see here.
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
Double cap now running into the favor of VonIvan, finally. But Inca will now grab the control back on the left-hand side VP. Rifle Grenadier might go down there, MG42 setting up. And it looks like the Grenadier will get away. Smoke goes off. MG has to reposition, otherwise it's risking to get naded. Late reaction there from Volta, but he should get away easily, should retreat. Yeah, here we go. One is holding one VP, that looks good. One has enough fuel for a P4. He needs though to build tier 3, otherwise he can't build the P4J. And with the P4J on the field against the Sherman, it should be a more favorable engagements coming up for Von. But still, the VP situation looks really grim. Sherman on the field. But VonIvan already has an AT gun on the field, so it's not that bad. He has one snare potential. AT gun goes up, forces the Sherman back. One rifleman is suppressed. The assault grenadiers have a field there doing their damage with the MP40s. VonIvan not building tier 3. What is VonIvan doing? He has 500 manpower on the bank. Why he is not building tier 3? His decisions confuse me. Will the Pioneers win this engagement? Grenade on the way. Should be fine, nothing to wipe down retreat path, so the Pioneer will get away with 1 HP. Triple cap again running into favor of Inca. Von still having more than 100 VPs, so it's not the end of the world, but still it's bad. Second AT gun on the way. And now building tier 3. A little bit later, I think you should cancel the AT gun, build the P4 and then the AT gun, probably. It feels like VonIvan is playing a little bit sloppy there. Because you could have already built tier 3 and getting the AT gun on the field. Just to deny the cap of the ammo point doesn't feel like it's that worth it. Sherman coming forward, should get into the range of the AT gun, but not into the vision of it. Tier 3 is now up. VonIvan can queue any second the P4J. AT gun now on the way from Inca. Inca got the captain means on the field, even supervising the build of the AT gun. And I think the initial advantage from VonIvan getting the Sherman on the field before Inca has an AT gun is now gone. Oh, he gets the AMG there and it gets destroyed again! Twice this bug in this game.
Is under attack.
Well, at least he denies the MG for his opponent as well, so could be worse. But in the end, being not able to capture it for your own can be annoying there for sure.
We are losing a sector.
AT gun has to fall back. MG's in a good position. Should get the suppression off. Here we go. We have a flank coming on over here. We, by the way, have now the heavy engineer upgrade there for the Pioneer support package, which grants an ability to throw satchel charges and also get the destroy cover ability, like the Royal Engineer has this ability. 1VP now being kept by VonIvan in the middle, holding it. P4J now hitting the field. I think the captain tech was not desperately needed from Inca. He was probably assuming or was playing it safe, but I think he could have gotten a second Sherman out on the field by now. And that's a dead Grenadier for sure. AT gun setting up. And the Grenadier will get away. Well, VonIvan deserves a little bit of luck, you could say, in this game. Tiger Ace now an option. MG gets hurt. AT gun gets also grenaded, but both are not decrewed. AT gun moving over from Inca, but I'm not sure if it's the right call to do that. He is not able to defend it. The captain has to go home. AT gun got decrewed. P4 coming around the corner, getting support from the AT gun. P4J getting some nice hits in against the Reaccolons. Nice hit there from the Sherman. And double miss from the P4 and from the AT gun. That's really unlucky. P4 has to fall back, gets a second shot in from the AT gun. Why is VonIvan not retreating? He's risking his P4. The second shot missed. Now instead of capping the VP, he has to repair his Sherman and his tank. He should also get the sweeper upgrade for more repair speed. So that's a really good repair squad. Like that 3 Pioneers with Pioneer support package, which increases the repair speed. And with the sweeper, it would also increase the repair speed. That it would be a really, really good combination now. Second Sherman on the way from IncaUna, but VonIvan is also not that far from the second P4. And generally speaking, I would rather prefer double P4J than double Sherman. Especially in combination that VonIvan has double AT gun. The only thing that, in my opinion, VonIvan lacks a little bit is infantry to keep the front line intact and also being able to apply more pressure. Maybe a second MG would help out there. But something like that is, in my opinion, definitely needed. The mortar in the end paid itself off better than I was expecting. Red 2, 3 kills. AT gun balances the second shot. Should use the mortar to barrage the MG AT gun combination over here to force them to relocate, or maybe even decrew them with some magical lucky shots. Flank coming around the corner from True Rifleman, but gets spotted. I also have to say I like how VonIvan uses the attack move on the AT guns instead of setting them up, because therefore the AT guns doesn't need to pick itself up again before it can reposition. Assault grenade does nothing. Smoke party over here. I'm not even sure from what. Was the Sherman? No. Who smoked? Who used the smoke ability there? Or was it from the Major or Reaccolon, something like that?
Keep up the pressure. They're down to 100 points.
Wait, Sherman a little bit of pathing issues there. AT gun gets 2 shots in. AT gun has to fall back. The second Sherman is coming in. Not get, since it's not using HE, it's not able to get the wipe. VonIvan's front line looks really bad at the moment. Mortar gets a nice hit there against the AT gun. P4 is really low. Second P4 will hit soon the field. AT gun should maybe even set up. It's risky. Oh, that's really unlucky for IncaUna. He tries to steal the AT gun with the lieutenant, and the lieutenant gets killed. Loses one model, 3 models remaining, and he loses the squad in return. Now trying to smoke off the AT gun, so it will get away, but MG is repositioning. Ace Grenadiers are rushing into the thick of it. Should be a dead AT gun. Yes, AT gun gets recruit, but the Reaclon is close by to capture it again. Yeah, that's really bad for Vaughn. VonIvan, meanwhile, dropping below 100 PPs. It's getting tougher and tougher for him to be on the field. Those infantry wipes are helping, definitely are surely helping, but are they enough? Is the big question. P4 still out of commission at the moment due to the lack of repair. We have a nice flank coming around the corner here, but it should not be enough with 2 bar riflemen and the normal Pathfinder, sorry, to get any major damage done there. You can really feel the lack of infantry there now, slowly hurting one more and more. P4 now coming forward with little to no HP. One slowly dropping below 70 VP soon, with being triple capped there. Or not triple capped, but soon again. P4 has to fall back there. And the cap for VonIvan gets denied, and now it's looking grimmer and grimmer. P4 is getting ready to go into it again. His Assault Grenadier is getting reinforced completely.
Enemy is taking our territory. Panzer here. Ready. Panzer 4 ready. What are your orders? It's done. Ready for
P4 already, 3rd German on the field for Inca soonish. And I'm not sure if VonIvan will survive that long even before the Sherman will hit the field. With 40 VPs on the bank remaining. Now trying to cap this one, but he still needs to cap 2 VPs. Now with so little VPs remaining, he can't really afford to be double capped for any longer. He basically needs to double cap, maybe even thinking about triple capping whole the game, because being double capped once might take too long till he is able to cap back the VP.
We are down to 25 points. Do not let them defeat us.
25 VPs remaining. Second MG now on the way from VonIvan. A little bit too late for my liking. Should have been built way earlier. Double cap now active. IncaUna also has access, by the way, to the cluster bombs, which help a lot against support weapons. Inca doesn't need to do any desperate pushes. He's really ahead there, so he can play relaxing. Too close to get, no need to throw in everything just to keep 2 VPs. You still have 422 VPs remaining. You have a nice looking army. Oh, the rifleman might go down. No. Nice flank there from Vaughn, but I don't think that's enough. Double P4 coming forward. AT guns getting naded. Satchel went down. But we have the frag bombs on the way. AT gun and MG gets recruited. Suddenly it looks completely different. Both Shermans now are eager to push. A lot of bounces there happening. One is blitzing away. And with 3 Shermans around the corner. And the badly wounded P4 going down. Second P4 coming forward, but it's also badly wounded. Will Sherman won't go down. Mortar, yeah, Assault Grenadier gets wiped, P4 gets end, that's game. Great frag bombs indeed. Inca pulling its weight there, and maybe VonIvan's indecisiveness about teching killed himself in the end. Building such a late tier 2, maybe considering should I go tier 3 rush, then going for tier 3 and going for tier 2 so late, losing the Assault Grenadier and the MG42, then getting the 222 which died immediately without getting any damage done, and then going for tier 3 and then not building it straight away, just going for a second 18 gun earlier and therefore delaying the P4J. So much of its effectiveness time at the USF player without an AT gun. It didn't feel on point this time from VonIvan, something you are not that used. He is a lot of chaos, he loses a lot of units. That's something we all used to that, but in the end he's still on point with taking and macro decisions, right? Normally. He has a really thought through game plan and he knows what he wants to do. And that feels really unlike to him, playing like that. Maybe he's rusty. I don't know. But I don't want to play down Inca's performance there for sure. He played extremely well. He knew what was coming. You can see how he played the game. His build order was meta build order, but that's not something to be sad about it. He just played the game better, and in the end it paid off. VonIvan, as usual, trying to make something happen there, but it's really unlikely that anything will happen there. Mortar gets the crew, but it doesn't matter that much anymore. Mortar gets recruit. New Sherman on the way. Mortar gets recruit again.
The mortar team has been killed.
Pioneers have to retreat. Double AT gun moving forward. Triple cap again on the way for Inca, and that will be game. Keep in mind there's still the teller, but VonIvan leaves actually before the game ends there. And GG well played there. Definitely an interesting game there. But it still feels like that VonIvan was not on point. Not playing up to his potential. And not playing up to his potential against such a strong opponent as IncaUna is something you should not do at all. And you can already see the KD that really tells the story. If you play Assault Grenadiers, no matter against who, you should have a positive KD just because of how great your early game is, but sadly it wasn't.